Nerf this!
Stop! You may be thinking to yourself, what is Overwatch? Why is Overwatch? Who's that stunning woman on my screen? Who is Overwatch? And what are we watching over? Unfortunately for you, I can only answer 2 of those questions. The stunning woman on your screen's name is Mercy, and she's my favorite character, so we'll get back to her, don't worry. As for what is Overwatch, Overwatch is a 5v5 FPS, so first-person shooter, where 2 teams go head-to-head to complete an objective while strategizing and having each teammate play one of Overwatch's 42 unique heroes. All 42 heroes are divided into 3 roles: tank, damage/DPS, and support. On a team, there's 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 2 supports. Each role serves a different purpose to aid the team to a victory. Tanks create and hold space, DPS are there to get picks and get elims in general, and a support's job is to help the team in whatever way assistance is needed. For context, support is also referred to as healer, but your job isn't always to heal. Each character, they're called heroes in Overwatch, has a unique set of abilities which gives something new to every game as playstyles vary. Every hero has 2 abilities and an ultimate. Some characters also have passive abilities, but that doesn't really matter too much. Ultimates can be game-changing. This helps keep the game interesting as there are only so many maps. In Overwatch, there are 6 map types. 1. Clash, the newest and worst game mode. Clash is a shitty edition of King of the Hill. Both teams attack a point based on whoever wins, the next point unlocks, and the team fights again to gain control of that point. Whoever gets 5 points first wins the game. Control. King of the Hill. It's literally just King of the Hill. But it has some of the best maps in Overwatch. 3. Escort, or Payload. Escort is one of the original map types and is my second favorite. The objective of the game mode is to either escort a payload to the end or to stop the payload from reaching the end. Flashpoint. I don't really like this one either. Flashpoint is King of the Hill but without changing maps, and this one is first to 3. After a point is captured, then the next one randomly unlocks. Hybrid. It's escort, but you capture a point, and then from there you have to move the payload to the end. Push. There's a bot, and teams take control of the bot, which then pushes a barrier, and whoever gets the barrier farther or to the end wins. Anyway, here's a dev talking about developing push maps.
So symmetry is obviously the number one important part. It makes it very competitive because both sides have a similar layout. We wanted to make Rome. We knew we wanted to go through the Colosseum, so that's kind of part of the initial design for this version of the push map. But it's a very fun mode, especially on in Rome. I think the thematic of the scene plus pushing the robot kind of enhances how fun this game type is.
Full transparency, players don't really like this game mode, including myself, but that's besides the point. These maps are stunning. That one shown in the clip is Colosseo/Rome, and this one up now is Esperanza. These maps are incredibly detailed, very immersive, beautifully done. In the same live stream that I pulled that clip from, they also talked about what they keep in mind when creating a new map, and there were kind of 3 main things. One being, what will make this map different, gameplay-wise, why is it special, why is it keeping the game fresh? 2, looping it into the overall story of Overwatch, the lore, and all that. And the 3rd thing being, keeping it within the Overwatch aesthetic. But what is the Overwatch aesthetic? As you might have been able to see from all the clips and video I've been playing, it's this very cartoony, both dramatized and simplified, colorful version of the world, and it's one of my favorite things about the game. Speaking of my favorite things about the game, why do I keep coming back to Overwatch? Well, to start with, I love playing with, meeting, and talking to both friends and new people. It's one of the things I like most about the game. While at times, the people of Overwatch can be, for lack of a better word, characters, even that provides me some entertainment. People in the game are generally pretty nice, and because of a common interest in winning, are willing to communicate and work together. It's also just something fun to do with friends. Part of that's because there are so many heroes people find who/what they enjoy playing. Personally, I enjoy the sports. One of the reasons why I do is because a lot of the characters I play in that category are centered around timing and just being aware of what's going on around you. Reason number 2, variety. Every game of Overwatch is something different from last. Because you're fighting real people and not NPCs, there isn't a real pattern from game to game. With that being said, when you go up in ranks, there does become more of a pattern as people played in the meta, so what heroes are good in the game, and also there is an objectively correct way to play a map. But even then, nothing is set in stone, and while people might be on the same characters, the plays made can be completely different. 3. Design. I love the design of Overwatch. While the material presented changes from map to map and hero to hero, the colorful and cartoony style stays consistent through the whole game. Something about that is very peaceful to me. However, this might be because the game means a lot to me, as much as I hate to say it. Overwatch is one of the reasons I fell in love with gaming and how I ended up sitting here today. That's because the same live stream I pulled clips from and used earlier is the same one that made me think, oh, I should just combine gaming and art and go into gaming. So